It's fun.
Yeah. Because it's pretty important. I spoke with so many Vietnamese Buddhist people, especially lady, and I met their children too. One little boy, he's so smart, he's so cute, and he's so disciplined. And his mom said that when uh, she carried him, she decided Buddha name. She remained calm. She most of the time she keep up with her positive mind. That's why he's so handsome. And I have a picture of him too, and he's so cute and he's so disciplined with himself. Now he's only 2 or 3. Another case that his mom complained that my boy is so so good and so forth, and she explained that when she carried him, she had some problem with her husband, and she went through the divorce. There's a lot of anger in her mind that affect the unborn child. Now somehow it's easy for him to get mad, and so his mom recognized us that because why she carried him, why she had that type of mentality, it affected him when even when he was unborn. Now it affected his life. Yeah, let me share with you. Yeah, let's see here. This one here. Let me share with Tammy. Can you see the screen, Tammy?
Yes, I can see it.
Mm.
Negative health issues, especially if you are pregnant. Studies show that stress can affect and impact your baby. And new research is finding that anxiety can hang around even after that baby is born. Weight gain, swelling, back pain, mood swings, pregnancy causes all kinds of physical and emotional changes, leaving many women feeling stressed. Body changes, you couldn't do anything. Experts know that very high levels of stress during pregnancy can lead to trouble sleeping, headaches, high blood pressure, and a greater risk for premature birth. Now, a new study suggests that negative prenatal stress might impact a baby into adulthood. Harvard researchers followed 40 men and 40 women for more than 4 decades. They found middle-aged people who have been exposed to significant stress in the womb showed poor stress regulation up to 45 years later. Tests also revealed that male and female brains responded differently to the prenatal stress. The good news is you can lower your stress levels. A relaxation activity like yoga or meditation can help. So can eating a healthy diet, exercising, and getting enough sleep. If you've experienced a traumatic event, you might want to speak to a professional therapist who can help you work through your emotions in a healthy way. So another study found mothers who report higher stress levels during pregnancy gave birth to babies with more health problems during their first year of life. Researchers said for every 1 point spike in reported stress, there was a 38% increase in infectious illnesses among babies. So get the help.
Yeah, please.
Help what you need if you're pregnant. I think that's the bottom line.
What do you think?
This is literally the most.
Sorry. That's not what I want to share. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. What do you think about that?
When my mom was pregnant with me, her father died of cancer. And so I know that genetically I'm predisposed to depression and anxiety disorders. But I think that her having to go through mourning her father totally impacted me.
You feel that you have that type of
And I know she had a very difficult week. I know that I was really sick as a child.
okay. Yeah, let's see. And I think another one here I want to share with you here. You don't have any child. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
When human life forms in the womb, the placenta is the single line of communication between baby and mother. The placenta supplies nutrients and oxygen to support the baby throughout pregnancy. It is a temporary human organ, meaning it grows in a woman's body throughout pregnancy and is then expelled from the body after birth. The growing baby also uses the placenta to communicate with its mother. Messages from the placenta come in the form of vesicles, carrying proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Vesicles are bubble-like structures that are released into the mother's blood. They carry proteins on the outside and inside, and genetic material on the inside. The proteins direct them to the mother's cells and organs. Both proteins and genetic materials may alter the way those organs work. Because these vesicles are in the mother's circulation, a simple blood sample can give a snapshot of what's happening in the placenta. Sometimes the line of communication goes wrong. Corrupted messages are released, which may result in diseases, such as gestational diabetes or preeclampsia. These diseases can have lifelong effects on mother and baby, and can even be fatal. Scientists at the University of Oxford are using donated placentas from women who have given birth to study the cargo of these vesicles for diabetic or preeclamptic pregnancies. They examine the vesicles from complicated pregnancies to see whether these diseases could be predicted through blood tests earlier in pregnancy. By identifying these corrupted messages, doctors could treat these women more effectively. This could prevent complications in the mother and baby, saving mothers' lives and giving babies more chance of surviving against the odds. For more fascinating science, visit our website.
What do you think? What do you think about this? This is more indirect way, right? The child and the mother is both, right?
I feel like it's all the more evidence we shouldn't force traumatized women to carry babies. If they don't want to. That's just my thought. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
we think we've got a problem with a sick society, you know.
There's been a conversation highly healing individuals in relation inside a reincarnation circle that we accept and gain through the life, in addition to the genetic maturity. This conversation slash research shows that the genetic information can span 6 generations worth of information in trauma, life, or stress, be that from point of and how do they start 6 generations of what has happened?
And also the father, right? Brave people on go too, right?
Well, I don't know who I forwarded. I don't guess I forwarded the article of that. You guys heard me bring up the epigenetic case. It was in, I think it was in 2003 or, I mean, it's been quite some time now, where the way it was set up was so there was no contact between the female mouse and the male mice, and they impregnated the female mice with the male mice who had, when they were exposed to the smell of cherry blossoms, they were electrocuted. So there was no contact between the mother and the bull mouse, nor was there any contact between the pups, the baby mice, and the originally traumatized dad mice. Well, one generation, the baby mice expressed severe fear response because of just that smell, even though they never had it associated with being electrocuted. So it's pretty clear evidence that those traumatized, which is also, I'm sure, designed in a way to help protect us, you know, that very much transfers on.
Yeah, that's why being a human is so precious, right? You have all kind of causes that help us to have this kind of physical body, or even mentality, from the mothers, from the fathers, from genetics, from the background. Plus, if we remember the in Buddhist view, the incarnation is from many past lives. Let me play one more clip. I think you can recognize this. This one here is just a bit long, but I just want to show this one so that you can see, especially we discussed last time when the young little one they could remember the past life. You watched this one before? You watched this before? What was it about? Can you tell what it's about? Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it talk about a pilot during World War II. He passed away. He died. You know, he could remember. Now he's little boy. Now he could remember his past life that he was a pilot. So it's been a long video, but I want to show this lady. She's a psychologist, and she mentioned that when they were little, they could remember the past life. Yeah. I think we can wait for her. Anyway, so the point I want to show this type of criticism is that, again, in Buddhist view, not only we affected by our parents, our mothers, fathers, our genetics, but also our own karma. And that's why we're here. Again, it may depend upon certain type of karma. Right? If we born in the good family, a good mother and fathers, we're more healthy, and vice versa. So that's why I used to advise the pregnant, pregnant ladies that they need to keep up with their mind. They need to maintain the positive mind, the optimistic mind. Within that 9 months, and it affects the child probably the whole life. It's just, so if they could not recognize us, it may be too late when they give birth to premature or Down syndrome children and so forth. It may affect the whole life. Yeah. Okay. Let me play this one here. It's pretty long clip, but I want to show this clip here.
Mother suggested she look into the work of counselor and therapist Carol Bowman. Bowman has written 2 books, both supporting the proposition that sometimes the dead can be reborn.
We are taught from a very early age in this culture, in the Judeo-Christian culture, that reincarnation doesn't exist. Once you observe this in a child, and the evidence is very compelling, you have to open up to another explanation for what is going on.
Bruce.
Well, it's pretty long. I want to show you that it's a college thing. So again, in Buddhist tradition, for thousands of years, that's normal. Normal for us to recognize that somehow we born again in this type of cycle rebirth. But in the West, it's maybe strength, right? So that's why in this kind of circle, right? We don't know what type of karma that we did in the past, and that type of karma in the form of energy will enter the women's and mothers, and this will be affected by the mothers, by the fathers, in a genetic way, and of course depend upon the mother, even the father mentality too. But again, not in this. Even if they born in the good family or bad family, so forth, they can turn themselves in different ways, depending upon their own karma. This is many conditions, not one condition. What do you think, Tammy? What do you think about those clips, Tammy?
About the children or the babies?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Both.
Yeah. Those. What do you think?
So I don't like it when you show those videos about the mother's womb and the children growing, because it's 8 years too late. It's 5 years too late. Like, where were you 10 years ago, right? So I could get my mind straight before I had my kids. So that's kind of bothersome every time I see them. But what I try to like tell myself and remind myself is that the mind's always changing. We're always changing. And so the same is true of the children. So just because when I was pregnant with my kids and I had high stress levels and anxiety and stuff, that can, even if that was passed to them, then it's not like in 45 years they're still going to be depressed, because I understand what's going on. I understand what's happened. And so now I can work to change that. So if I see any of those signs, and I can really work with the kids to kind of, if anything had happened during that period of time, to help them kind of grow and evolve in a more, healthy fashion. But as far as the videos of the kids, like remembering their past lives and their reincarnation, I love when you show those videos. I know you have one, it's like a 30 or 45-minute video. And I don't like the name of it because it's called like Creepy Children. And I'm thinking these children aren't creepy. I get so mad at the title. I'm like, they're not creepy. They're blessed. Like, how blessed is that to come back with some type of kind of understanding and memory? And I know for me, that's definitely what drew me towards the temple, is when I had my kids and I saw their behaviors and I heard their words. And that's what really kind of led me in the direction to come there. And then having these Dharma classes with you all really helped me to understand more of what was going on, because I was coming from a Christian viewpoint where, you have one life and then you die and you go to heaven or you go to hell. So just being able to open up to the whole concept of reincarnation made it easier for me to actually accept what I was seeing in my own children.
So again, that's just educational, right? And if we accept or not accept words, and if we recognize this kind of cycle, recognize this type of connection, bonding in the past life, we would take care of our health as well as our children in the healthy way.
I just have a quick comment to go with what she said. Tammy, if you enjoy watching this, I'll have to try to forward it to you. There's great footage of the Karmapa right now. Is that 19 or 20? I think it's a Karmapa. Do you guys know who the Karmapa is?
They don't know.
He's a reincarnated Tibetan bodhisattva. Anyway, so similar in a lot of respects to the Dalai Lama, just that same system. Anyway, so there's this great footage of him when he was like 8 or 9 on his birthday, and they set up this elaborate birthday thing. And it was in the 80s where they were still watching VHS. And so they're up in the mountains of Tibet, and you can watch him watching footage of himself. And it's so cool to see the little kid sitting there saying, oh, that's me. That's me right there. It's absolutely beautiful and really just an interesting. So if you like that, Tammy, I'll have to send you that documentary.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
When kids come back and remember their past lives, because feel that the blessing and good, right? Because they are remembering, correct? Or no?
Doesn't matter, good or bad, depends on how we view.
Well, I'm
Depend.
curious if it's- I'm not supposed to hear it.
Yeah. Well, of course, it works both ways. Good or bad depends on how we view that. Let's say if they say, oh, okay, I know you well. It's in the past.
Well, I guess thinking like, is it more they have an understanding of who they are better? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Most time, like that psychologist, she said that right before 3 or 4, they could remember the past a little bit. After that, they would not remember much. Again, we may not, because a lot of information that we collect from this lifetime So that's why it dilute the information that we learn, we remember. In the
Because it's not
past.
necessarily, they're not saying it's the same consciousness that's necessarily moving on. So it's not,
The information.
yeah, it may be the same, because the karma is what they call conditioned volition, right? So it's really more the set of energies that go along rather than like a personality or a trait or because it, you know, so whether it's good or bad or and good and bad are just because we're not Buddhas, you know, but that's, you know.
But at least we know that they come back. Yes.
I was told sometimes to go into my it's less for
At least as a parents or as a mature people, we recognize, okay, they come back in one way and another. So we could recognize one way. And actually, in the Tibetan tradition, they focus on that type what they call too cool. So before some enlightened master pass away, they would indicate, okay, I will be born in certain places to their student and disciple. And after they pass away, the student will go there and look for that little boy or whatever. You heard about that this before? You know about this thing?
reincarnation.
Uh-huh. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, reverse everything.
Yeah. So that's why in Buddhist view, again, no one really earth. It's different from the Christian tradition, right? So our karma we ourselves. Whichever people out there, we bounce back, will lead us to the next life. And for enlightened teacher, they know where they're heading to. But for us, most time we don't know. Because even things that we have done yesterday, we cannot remember all. About last week, last month, last year, or even, of course, last lifetime. Right? So, but for enlightened awakening master, they could recognize, like you mentioned, come apart. Yeah. And that's why the more we practice mindfulness, the easier for us to remember things, but not for the common people. All right, so that's why I want to mention about this so that we know, we have this body in mind. It's not constant. It is come from all kind of conditions. The generations from parents, how they affect to us when we were born, and when we born, they have some type of affect too. And when we go to school, we get some type of education, depending upon the education that we receive, whether in the East or in the West. Depend upon the school, depend upon the teacher or profession we encounter with. There's all kind of condition. That's what here. But in general, that's what the Buddha say here, the mind, matter, body is the mind here. Let me move down here. It's just in the general explanation. We discussed a lot about ignorance. We discussed a lot about karma and consciousness. So we don't have time to go back again. So we can maybe move down here. This is here, the mind matter here. The consciousness energy. In Buddhism, we have 8 types of consciousness. And that now, just like we have the body, the mind. The matter is in the body. The mind is including all kind of feeling, all kind of consciousness. Let me move back here one more time so that you can get an idea. Where's me with consciousness here? This is from here. So we can get to know. Have you read this before? You know Buddhist consciousness before? About what do you understand about?
The senses that we form are actions for ignorance or ability to, as we take information, the same concept as from from the market for that. So it's and use it. How Buddhism starts to communicate that is also not this calmly reflect ourselves.
You understand about Buddhist idea of consciousness? Any idea? Mhm. So this one, you can see the figure here. The first five sense, the size from our from eyes, the hearing, and so forth. That's the first five signs, what they call five consciousness. And the sixth consciousness is control part them. And the sixth consciousness contact with the seven. That's what we talk about, right? The evil one, the one that have attachment, the one that have the grasping, the aversion, and the last one is storage consciousness. This is like the knowledge bank here we said here. We interact with external phenomena, and we filter out all confirmation, whichever thing we like or dislike, we store here in knowledge bank. In Buddhist view, is the deep karma or the storage consciousness. Whichever thing we see, we hear, and so forth, even in the past, like we store in that type of consciousness. That's why we hear sometimes we carry some expertise, some special skill that other people could not recognize. That's why when we have summer camp, I talk about the youth. We talk about youth with the youth that they need to recognize their special skill to develop their potential. That's the whole idea. Yeah. So yeah, let me skip this one and the mind, the matter here. That's consciousness of the mind, the matter here. Yeah. And the feeling in Buddhist view, the first three aggregates: feeling, perception, formation. The first one is the matter, the body, and the last one is the consciousness. So that's why here the how consciousness condition the mind and the matter is the eyes, body, touch, and base here. That's the whole idea here. Let me move down here so that you can understand clearly. So that's what the consciousness here, the feeling, perception. Perception has been our thinking. Formation has been the habit, the mental habitual pattern. Like we like to drink tea in the morning, drink coffee in the morning, have a donut in the morning, and so forth. I get habitual pattern in our mind, mental habitual pattern, perception and our thinking, and the feeling, good feeling, bad feeling, normal feeling. That's just the consciousness, and here is the matter that relates to our body. Yeah. So these are they in line with the revelation here. That's what about matter and existence, and this is talk about existence developed through the pregnancy. Have you read this before? But it's brand new for you.
Some of the knowledge I've heard about, but I never read this.
You read some of them? Yeah, that's what we call sense. Eyes, visible object, eye contact, ear, sound, and so forth.
In kindergarten, that's one of the standards is the five senses, but I wish they put mind as one of the senses too. So learn how to control their senses and take care of themselves.
Well, because I think we just teach kids or people, or I know I was conditioned to believe that my mind and my thoughts were me and all real and a fairly accurate description of reality. Turns out it's not an accurate description of reality.
That's
That would be nice to teach kids, like regulating themselves.
Yeah.
With that sense is built in when you teach them smell and hearing.
And you're a first grade teacher, so you know well. So it's better to teach them at that level, right? To know how to control the mind, right? It's not easy.
No. not even that young. I mean, our 4-year-old, we taught her breathing exercises to regulate her anger and herself. And most of the time she'll want to do it, but sometimes it's like she's 4.
Yeah, is this assistance here?
I can't regulate myself either. Yes.
Our girl panel around 4 years ago and stuff.
So she-
Yeah, especially if the teacher, right? You teach them just a couple of minutes to close their eyes, right? To close their eyes, they could calm their mind. Otherwise, they run everywhere. Yeah.
I was actually really surprised this year. So I was in 3 different elementary schools, and I was surprised how many classrooms had like mindfulness reminders or,
It's the new hotness.
oh yeah, I mean,
It's the new buzzword, mindfulness.
yeah, but the pause boxes and a lot of those, we didn't have those. We got our name on the check on the
Yes.
thing, and you're a bad kid, sit out in the hallway. It wasn't.
They
there
have
wasn't
now.
Some teachers still do that.
they might still, but yeah, and I understand why, trust me. But I was really like pleasantly surprised to not just see it in one classroom. I probably saw it in at least 6 or 7 different rooms.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I have a calming corner, and that's popular too. It's a place to calm down and regroup.
Mm. I don't know whether you are aware of. You teach in Indiana, right? In
I
Louisville, right? Mhm. In Louisville, let me go back here. What do you call compassionate forum? You heard about that?
I've heard.
Do you know about that? This is
Maybe you showed us something about it.
yeah.
I think you did. It was like a meditation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You heard about
really
that, right?
interesting. Yeah.
Oh, compassionate. Compassionate school project. You know about this one, right?
I've heard of it. I don't know.
Mhm. And it
Maybe
connects
that's
with.
what I was seeing. 'Cause
Oh,
I was in
yeah,
Jefferson County Schools.
Yeah, this is timeline here. They partner with this is timeline right after the Alama camp. So the Jefferson Public School work with the Mayor Fisher office to raise this type of compassionate project here.
Yeah.
That's the timeline here, and I think that
All the Jefferson schools.
I think
This
for
year, so that's good to know.
yeah, I think for the elementary level, yeah, it's year 8 now, and they make the partnership with mayor office here, Louisville Metro City Government, and they hire one professor from University of Virginia. They came here to train the teacher, to guide the student, the little children to develop the compassion, to guide them to develop their compassion mind. Yeah, this is so important. So you're not aware of this?
You don't do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty critical, right? When they're young, they have that type of training. So you went to that classes and you
Well,
saw
no, I
it?
didn't go to that because I taught drama, but like I would go, I would have to borrow other teachers' classrooms and stuff. So not only would I see like material on the walls, or like if I would get there a little bit early, they would have the lights out and then like meditation music and everybody sitting quietly. There were a number of and for whatever reason, when I was trying to get the kids to chill out, they all kind of knew. So I feel like somebody else taught them that besides me. It was just there was a lot of it, which I was really happy.
So tell me, your children have this type of teaching or guidance, tell me, at school?
I don't think so. I don't think they have anything like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
so
Yeah,
So
I don't
you-
think they have any kind of like assigned areas, and I'm not sure that they do
Oh.
any type of meditation either.
because you live in Prospect, right? Not in Jefferson County, right?
Well, I'm in Jefferson County. I'm right on the line, but I'm in Jefferson County. But we do a private school. We do a Montessori school.
Okay, private school. Okay.
Yeah. I've heard of this program with Jefferson County though, and I
Mhm.
was going to give Father Joe credit for it. That must have been where I heard about it. They must have mentioned it there before. Where the people are getting trained or something. I don't know, but yeah, no, I just teach the kids at home, and I think that's important, you know. And even if it's not sitting down meditating every day or once a month or once a week, or just constantly reminding them, or even within myself to teach them, like, oh, I feel sad right now, and tell them I feel sad right now, but it's okay because I'll feel happy again. Everything's changing, feelings are changing. Or if I get upset, you know, I'm upset right now, I'm going to walk away. And then they mimic your behavior. So if you do it, then they'll do it too. And my daughter, you all just reminded me my daughter, a couple times, she said, when I got upset because she did something wrong, she said, I'm not a bad kid, am I? I think you were talking about when you were talking about getting, like, you're the bad kid in school, so you get the red X rather than the sticker or whatever it is. But she said that to me several times within the past couple of weeks. I'm not a bad kid, am I? And I'm always like, immediately, no, you're not a bad kid. I just don't like your behavior, what you just did, but you're definitely not a bad kid. So I think that's important to reinforce in them always that they're good kids. It's just the behavior.
Yeah, it's very important, right? Very important to teach that young age compassion, loving kindness, forgiveness, and so forth. Otherwise, when they get older, they exposed to all kind of information, good and bad information. It's easy for them uh, to get this type of bad information in their mind, especially video games, right? And they may turn to be violent first. So it's easy. Do you think easy to teach them this type of comparison, this type of behavior for that young age?
The younger they are, the better. From a teacher standpoint, the more support at home, the easier it is if home is modeling this. So parents need to learn all of this too. Adults.
So I need to get
Okay. Everybody needs to learn it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, especially for the children, their mind is like the blank paper, right? Let me show you a short video clip. I hope that you can recognize Zen's story. A professor, and be careful, be careful. A Zen master. I don't know whether you know this story. A professor and a Zen master. See here. You know this story?
Oh, yeah. That's
You heard about this story? You heard about it?
There's lots of
Oh,
famous
okay.
stories of famous people that
Say hello to Webflow.
Yeah, let me skip this one. You know this story, right?
Jerry Seinfeld tells a great version of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hello, Master. Hello. Greetings, Master Master. I'm Panay.
I'm a professor at Guangzhou Monastery. I teach various subjects on Buddhism. I have come all the way here to learn Zen from you. Master, can you teach me? Sure. But first, join me for a cup of tea. Master, stop! Just like this, my friend. You are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen? Unless you empty your cup first.
So that's why you understand now, right? So we have four opinions, idea, speculation. It's not easy to get. When children is like a blank paper, whichever thing we put there, they recognize us. And actually, the parents are the first teacher, right? And whichever thing they learn from us, it will impact their life. So yeah, let's go back again.
That's also supposed to be, that's supposed to be an example of like several different Buddhist concepts, if I'm not mistaken. It's also supposed to be the example of beginner's mind too.
Yeah,
There's
you
a
have
few
to-
of them, I don't remember them.
Yeah, beginner mind, fresh mind, open mind, right? When we open our mind, we accept things. Otherwise, we see, oh, okay, I learned already. I don't need to learn more. So that's why, as first grade teacher, you have great impact on them.
Well, beginner's mind meditation and sorry.
Story time. Sometimes you show them a story of this in the class. Sometimes you show them. Do they allow you to show some of this story? How about high school and college students? You can, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of times where we've had conversations similar to that, especially the kids that I'm working with, because they usually we talk a lot about how they don't know what they don't know, and they'll have this story in their mind of like, oh, this won't work. Like, oh, I literally all of this. Like they can't. They have all these ideas about it that may or may not be true. You can't act like, okay, that's not right. That's not right. This is the truth. It's sort of like, but as long as they hold on to that, they kind of get stuck. They can't do it.
Yeah. How about your children? So they're still young, right? You say 5 and 8. This is now, according to my experience, it's better to teach them before 12 and 13. Is that right?
Yes.
Why is that? What do you think?
they actually go to the temple, for example, and they can teach kids like the prayers and teaching about stuff. And it seems like other things like this, telling them. Makes it
Yeah, the younger is the better, right? Especially for the teen, right? Failing up is not easy. When, they say, yeah.
Our
How quick-
oldest, she has it all.
yeah. Which age they would pass that type of difficulties? You think about
28.
20, 20 and up?
28 is when actually all of those synapses fully form and stuff like that, that you don't, yeah, you really like, but seriously, it's like between the ages of 27 and 28, that those age groups literally don't have access to certain types of, or parts of the prefrontal cortex or so.
It's not done. It's literally still like.
It's,
wiring
yeah,
itself.
it's, so they literally don't have the capacity yet until, you know, mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, even longer, yeah.
So depend upon their educational background, right? Depend upon culture and so forth.
No, I
right?
think that's biological.
Mid 20 and up
Yeah, so 24 to 27.
to be sailed out, right?
They're, yeah, neurotypical. They are not neurotypical. ADHD, autism, Down syndrome, 10%.
Yeah. That's why in Buddhism, there's the spectrum. Yeah, fine. Yeah, you come here, please. Yeah, you can come. Yeah, that's okay. Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, go ahead. That's it. That's okay. You can get a chair. Get up on the chair.
Here's the chair right here.
Block the way. Be careful. Be careful. This discharge. Yeah, come in. You can get. That's okay. Thank you. Thanks for coming. And thanks for the show. Yeah, we're more than that's okay. It's okay. Yeah, come in. Yes, go ahead. Yes. Sorry, we are almost done. Yeah, so next time, take a sit up, please. What's your name? Danny. Danny. Sorry, I forgot to ask your name, please. Evan. Sam. So Evan, so you work which company?
I work for Lowe's.
Quality control, right? And how about you? Oh, I see. Okay. Mhm. You are nurse or what?
I help people get
You live nearby here?
now I'm looking for passing on.
So to this couple, that
It's like real chill. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, you're in the right place, man.
no, that's okay. Complain. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and yeah, yeah. Mhm. And his wife. You working now, right?
Yeah.
I just got a job. Decided to take the time off.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. His father, your father, go to the other temple, right? He's one of the devout Buddhists from the other temple.
I don't know if
Is it Vietnamese?
Yeah, the Vietnamese one. It's small.
we lived in there.
Yeah. You bring them to that temple to the children. So anyone that teach them in English over there?
No.
No, bring them here. We can teach them. Yeah, see, you see, they have, yeah. Did you come here last week? We have the summer camp, the chaos here. Yeah, we have about average 60 and 70 children and the youth. Only one per year. That's all. Last week, that's all. And we next year we have that. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. No problem. Yeah, next year anyway. So next time, next Friday, we have meditation from 6 to 7, and from 7 to 8, we have discussion. Yeah. You just stop by here, right? Anyway, so yeah, let us end today, and next week we discuss more. Again, you see that is in whole spectrum, right? How we grew up and how we help our children and so forth. So this is not easy when we understand all aspects of life, our karma, genetic, educational background, cultural background, and so forth. It's all kind of components that affect our life. It's not one, especially the younger they are, the easier for us to teach. And the older we are, not easy to get information. Okay, so thank you. So see you next week, and we have the chart. If you like to write down your name information here.
That's the easiest way to get on the Zoom calls, and also is by putting your email on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Give me your email. Sorry. If you can give me your email. Yeah. You can give me your email. Yeah. Hi. See you. Okay, let me turn up.